You gotta watch this.
A Muslim lady decided, I'm going to be a Christian. Wow. She repented of her sin, left Islam, took her hijab off, which was a miracle. But my dad didn't know that. And later we found out that her husband was a leader of a Muslim terrorist group. He was a top dog leader there. He kills Christians for a living, pastors for a living. And when the husband found out that my dad converted his wife, he was furious and wanted to take revenge on my dad. And the way he was going to take revenge, he was going to kidnap my brothers. I have two brothers who were 5 and 9 years old, young boys. He was going to kidnap them from a school bus where they go to school. He was going to put them in a van, behead them, put their bodies and heads in a bag to send them back to my dad's house to teach him a lesson. Don't preach Jesus again. And that's how Muslims do it. They'll kill someone in your family just to set an example. Do not mess with Muhammad or Islam. So the Muslim man pretty much came 7 in the morning to the bus stop with another 2 Muslim men to carry out, the assassination and kill my brothers. The Muslim men come in a van. They're in the van. They see my brothers at the bus stop. And as they try to get out of the van to kidnap my brothers, the Muslim men felt frozen in the van. They were unable to move. They've never had this happen to them before. My brothers get on a school bus. The school bus leaves. And then the Muslim men unfreeze again. They don't know that it was a supernatural encounter. They don't know that it was God that froze them. And they're looking at each other. They're like, you coward. You were scared of a 5-year-old. You were scared of a 9-year-old. They thought they're frozen out of fear. They don't know it was God. So the next day, the boss, the Muslim terrorist leader, comes with another 2 men to finish the job. This time they're in the van. They see my brothers at the bus stop again. This time they were able to get out of the van. So now the Muslim men are out of the van and they're standing right behind my brothers, 5 and 9, and they're standing right behind my brothers. And as they go to kidnap them, all Muslim men literally feel a supernatural hand, an angel, grab their hands and tie it behind their head. So the Muslim men now, their hands are tied behind their heads, unable to move. They don't know what's going on. My young brothers get on the bus leaves, and then they unfreeze again. And now that's when the Muslim terrorist leader is like, something is wrong. So he goes to my dad's house. He sits with my dad in the living room. He meets my dad somewhere and tells him the story. And that's how we know the details. He tells him the story.
So how did they met?
So now the Muslim terrorist leader, after his hand was tied behind his head, he knew that something was wrong. He's like, this God must be real. So he finds my dad. He figures out where he is and he goes to my dad and sits with my dad and explains to him what he tried to do to his kids. He's like to him, my dad, I tried to kill your kids. And he tells him all the details. That's how we know what happened. And the Muslim terrorist leader learns the story by telling my dad, I tried to kill your children, but your God protected them. And he says to my dad, your God is the one true God. And that Muslim terrorist leader becomes a Christian in that room, leaves Islam, gets baptized. Until today, he's still a Christian following Jesus Christ. So that's the story we kind of grew up in. And at the end, really, the story got so dangerous. In 2007, my dad kept on preaching. So more people were after our family. The government was after our family. And really the pinnacle in 2007 was our address was published in a Muslim hit list newspaper. In Egypt, they have because it's a Muslim country, they have an undercover newspaper. And if you're a pastor and you're a threat to Islam, they'll just publish your address in there with a reward. And if anyone takes you out, they'll get a reward. So our address was published there. So our family had to literally pack our bags in a few weeks and leave the country. And we moved to Thailand for a few months. We lived there until we got accepted into Australia as refugees. And here we are now traveling the West, preaching and warning America and the whole West about the dangers of Islam because we literally escaped from it.
So why was it so dangerous for your family to preach the gospel in Egypt during that time?
Well, the thing is, Egypt was a Christian country. So 1400 years ago, Egypt, my country, the Middle East was 90% Christian. We love Jesus Christ. There was no Islam in Egypt. The Muslims came to Egypt.